Hello Boomi community and welcome back to Boomi World 2026 live in Chicago. I am joined by my co-host John Furrier and we are talking all things Boomi, their ecosystem and the future of connected tech. Joining me now are two very honored members of that ecosystem. Vinit Verma, VP of Data and AI BU Head at Jade Global, joined by Thomas Benjamin, who leads engineering and cloud ops at Boomi. Welcome, folks.
Great to be here.
Great to be here.
So I think we're almost through the first day. Maybe let's just start. Talk to me a little bit about your observations, how you're feeling, the energy levels on the floor. I'll start with you.
No, I think it's been great because we've been working for over a year on a certain vision, and this was a culmination of delivering that vision. But seeing the vision resonate with customers, I was at the Technology Advisory Board and the Customer Advisory Board yesterday, seeing the customers react to it and feel that yes, you are understanding our pain points and the capabilities you're looking to solve through Boomi Orchestrate, through Boomi Connect, and a lot of the other MCP and AI gateway capabilities seem to resonate with them. So it's a great kind of manifestation of what we are solving is truly what's resonating with the customers.
Yeah, the energy is great because of what we have seen for last 2-3 years on AI, how AI is going. People started a lot of pilots and demos and everything, but now enterprises are realizing there's a problem in the data, right? Everything looks great in demo. In the control environment, curated data, you do the demo. But when it goes to production, then we realize, okay, our data foundation is not ready.
Yeah. The data's got to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
good data is good AI, right? That's what they
Yeah.
say. Also, I wrote a post that said, shadow AI is like giving a driver's license to every 16-year-old and they drive for the first time. It's like projects fail, but there's a lot of good drivers driving the AI. So the question then comes now, good 1 year into these projects, where's the ROI on the AI investments?
Yeah.
The CFOs are getting involved, then they go to the CIO, the super CIO, say, give me the bottom line. So what's the result? Where's the ROI coming from? What does someone need to do to get in position to set the table or execute the projects successfully?
So from my perspective, it's all about delivering business outcomes, right? For example, if you're trying to onboard an employee, you're trying to connect employee information from different systems. You might start with your HR system. If it's an employee working in product and engineering, you need to connect Slack to your Google ecosystem, to your Atlassian ecosystem, to your coding environment, and your cloud code and all these different things. This typically takes a few days or a week to happen. Can you make this happen in less than 10 minutes?
Wow.
That's what Boomi Orchestrate is attempting to solve with Boomi Connect. So if we can look at these business outcomes which can be activated with the right data available at the right place, that's the value that we bring to customers.
And Vinit, you were front line of this change, right? You're working with customers, Jade Global is out there integrating these solutions, trying to make this promise real every day. Steve said earlier on stage, 95% of AI projects fail, and he blamed a number of reasons for that. One is vibe coding, should these projects have even started in the first place? But we do know that there have been a lot of long-standing challenges, right, in making enterprises agile and allowing that connective tissue to form.
Yeah.
What are you seeing now in 2026 at this moment? Like, what has shifted fundamentally to enable an AI era?
Yeah, so as Thomas mentioned, so first thing where we see the success is where enterprises are talking about first the business outcomes. What business outcomes I am looking from this initiative, right? When you have the business outcomes, then you start backward from your data, integration, governance, right? You have to set the foundation. That means you have to take a data first AI approach. Once your data is there, then AI is working. We have seen customers like, when we started AI projects leveraging Boomi platform, when we started from the data layer, project went very well. Our customers got 90% productivity. I mean, I can take the name of customer, MultiCube, they are presenting here. So they got 90% of productivity improvement in their post-customer sales agents.
Is there a playbook or is there certain things that resonate? Was it open tables? What are some of the elements people should be thinking about when they look at operationalizing some of the data layer pieces that are evolving fast?
Yeah, so if you see like in enterprises with 30, 40 years of data, right? They don't even know, like they have the data scattered in hundreds of places, right? For AI to work, AI has to understand, okay, what is this data, right? If you just query a data warehouse, it can give you a result, but AI has to understand like what data, which tables, which source it is coming from, what are the relation between the data.
Thomas, you're the activation company.
Yeah.
How do you activate that data?
It's not just the right data. Do the people have the right privileges to view the data? Because one of the new challenges with the agentic era producers is we try to mash up data on systems like Cloud Desktop or Cloud Cowork or Google Gemini or ChatGPT's console. Earlier, the mashup was done at the application level, and we had system level privileges connecting Salesforce to Oracle or ServiceNow or SAP. But this is happening in the agentic ecosystem of cloud infrastructure. So when you do that, layering governance through our AI gateway capabilities, well-defined MCP registries, and the right access control privileges becomes really key to make the data useful and activatable to the right people based on the guardrails that are there.
And who's driving that charge? If we think about enterprise change management 10 years ago, you wanted to make a slight change to a UX and any of your line of business applications, it went through a change management process, it was painful, a lot of practitioners gave up on it, right? We're now in a space whereby, speed is everything, innovation is everything, and everyone is in some ways expected to be a technologist, right? Who are you guys seeing, like frontline, is actually truly driving some of these changes that are happening at a workflow level? Is it happening combined with IT? Is it happening, at the practice owner, workflow owner level?
So, so from our side, like we are SI partner for many of our enterprise customers. So the use cases start from the business, right? Business has some problem, they would like to have some productivity increase, or suppose if they are processing any orders, it's taking like for a week of time, right? Because it is connecting with CRM, ERP, EDI, so many things, right? So the use case comes from, the discussions come from the business units, then it goes to the data team, right? Okay, to solve this problem or to build AI solution to get the outcome, this business outcome, this type of data I need. Okay, I have the raw data coming from several systems, right? Let's first do the data readiness, and that's where Boomi is actually playing great role with the new Boomi Connect and all, right? So now we have the tools, technology in the governed phase. It's not about like you curate the data, but how you are governing the data. As Thomas mentioned about the role access. You create, suppose you build hundreds of agents. Which agents has to take which data, right? You don't want your HR agent to go and find the sales data, right? What they will do it, right? So data foundation, then governance is these are the key factor for the success. So business layer, the business department, then you work with the IT, CDO team. So those are like the owners who will help you drive this.
In this age of AI, one of the things people talk about is speed, velocity, pace of play, whatever you want to call it. It's fast.
Yeah.
And a lot of people ask, what's changed? So what has changed about Boomi? We've been following the platform shift from iPaaS to platform. Now we have seeing all the runtime, and you're getting a lot of real-time observability. We saw the model routing, news. How would you describe what Boomi is today?
So we have been working with Boomi for last 10 years. I can give you the difference. The things you were building 2 years back, like if it was taking 100 hours to build something, now you can build in 8 hours, 10 hours of time. With that new technology, like you don't have to do the coding, you don't have to be a code expert to work on Boomi. It's a business mindset. If you know the business, you can build something on Boomi. That's what is like a change. Like I would say, like from 100 to 8 hours.
It's huge.
It's a huge.
Yeah.
So that's a major change. Now, with not only with the integration and all, there are so many features came in the platform, right? You have the master data hub, so you can bring your key data which are required for your AI agent to work. That's at one place. You have the MCP registry. There are thousands of applications with every enterprise. Right now you have the way to connect to any of the applications and get the data and build your AI.
I've always been impressed, Thomas, by the integration speed, the agility, and the evolution. We were talking before we came on camera about data pipelines.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff was built. You go back 14 years ago, 17 years when we started theCUBE, Hadoop was popular, if you remember those days, and then Spark came and now you got Databricks, et cetera. But data pipelining and real-time streaming of data has been laid down. There's been some pre-existing pipelining thinking.
Yeah.
How has data pipeline changed architecture? Is that even relevant? Is it material in the conversation when we think about architecture?
So it is actually relevant even today, right? And actually, with the pace of agentic evolution, what is important is getting the right data at the right place with the right context in time. And that's where we got to take the existing pipelines, add new capabilities on top of it, and make that happen in a secure, governed, sovereign manner so that the data sovereignty is maintained. And that's kind of where we focus in, right? We start with the use cases that propel business outcomes. So if you look at Boomi Orchestrate, what it's essentially doing is bringing information from integration processes, APIs, golden records from Data Hub, as well as agents together to get that onboarding experience in less than 10 minutes, as an example, right? That's what's changed.
As a follow-up, a lot of pipelines were statically built, they have different schemas. Do agents do that, or do humans get involved? How do you see, because that's not clear to me.
It's a combination of both. It's a combination of both, essentially, right? Because with agents, you have the ontology of what that business process needs to work together. Now, the idea is, when do you use a specific element of that ontology is based on the semantic characteristic of that business process that you're trying to execute. And so, if you want to look for information that is buried between Slack and Gmail and a conference, you bring that together in real time based on that ontology that sits behind it.
So it's pipeline of pipelines.
A pipeline
in a way, it's a wrapper. It's almost
it's become an intelligent pipeline. Think about it like that.
When you're building these features, these product sets that are changing so quickly, and the expectation is so high too, right? It's almost instantaneous now that we're going to see tech developments on the daily. How do you think about it from the perspective of just staying apprised and ahead of what's happening at a frontier lab level? Like, do you have a team or folks dedicated just to that research alone?
No, the way we've done this, and Steve Lucas actually set a challenge to Ed and me like a year ago. He wanted our entire engineering organization to be an agentic organization, right?
Wow.
So 2 years ago, we started with this journey of using coding assistants as a first-class citizen within the entire engineering team. We started off with Amazon Q, Cursor, GitHub Copilot. We wanted the teams to see what's the best tool that best helps them be more effective. What would turbocharge them? And then over this last 7-8 months, the entire team has gravitated with Cloud Code. So the side effect of that is that with literally the same team, I was able to produce 50% more epics with the appropriate story points than what I did in 2024 and 2025.
When I interviewed him at the NYSE a few months ago, I asked him that question. Hey, I know you guys got a lot of work and I know the team's talented. What was the reaction? He goes, oh, they're super excited. They're moving faster, they're building stuff. So have evidence.
Yes.
What specific things have surprised you? What was the biggest surprise?
The way at which Boomi Connect came about. This entire project came from concept to production in less than 4 months.
Wow.
Boomi Agent Studio, concept to production in about 4 months' time, essentially, right?
It's like kids in a candy store at Boomi, isn't it?
Yes, I've been doing this for 30 plus years, and this is the most excited phase that I am. Sometimes I wish I could go back and be a programmer, looking at the kind of tools that are available.
Prompts dictate.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is a revolution. This is creating a culture fusion between young and senior people that haven't coded and maybe don't know the syntax, but they learn computer architecture, they know how the systems work. They're now leaning in, directing.
That is true. The thing we have to realize is that, and I always tell this to software engineers, a coding assistant like Cloud Code in the hand of an experienced software engineer is a very powerful tool. It is the superpower for the software engineer because it boils down to basics. You give a good prompt, you get better results. And to give that good prompt, you need that software engineering experience, expertise, because life has always taught us this. we learn the most from our mistakes. And that translates to the agentic era.
If you're going to drive an F1 car, you better know how to drive and run the vehicle.
Yes.
That's what you're basically getting at.
Steve brought that up really well, right? You got to trust what you're doing, and the trust comes with experience that we've built software over decades.
And Vinit, what are you seeing? Like, are you seeing a lot of folks that are just designing or building wrappers around like line of business applications or applications using Claude Code? Like, what sort of utilization and innovation versus just, you know, I guess, additional execution are you seeing on industry level?
When it started a couple of years back, right? So people started building chatbots and all, right? So now the real enterprises are looking at the real problem, business process. How we can optimize our business process with AI solutions. So chatbot is one thing where you can actually putting some prompt, getting some answers, right? Now how you can have an agent which can do action for you, right? Like you consider it as a digital employee for your company, right? So you give the task, it will go, it will take the decision, it will connect with tools and technology, what it needs, the data and all, and then it will take the action and do the work complete the work, right? That's what the use case now we are seeing customers are asking for.
Oh.
Chatbot is now old.
And Thomas, because you mentioned prompt engineering and how important that is, I think we should maybe mention the Lunar acquisition, right? Maybe talk to us a little bit about what gap that plugs for you and your kind of broad, you know, tech opportunity.
So Luna brings to the table the AI and MCP gateway capability. As we stitch Luna on top of Boomi Connect, it provides that governance, the guardrails, and the security aspect that's needed when you take Boomi Connect and hook it up to Claude Desktop or Gemini Desktop or ChatGPT Desktop as an example, right? And that's the accelerated capability that we see about Luna that we're really excited about, essentially.
Wow, okay, I have to ask you one last question. We haven't covered this yet today, but we feel like we need to, John. Mythos. We had a very interesting conversation with one of the team members, Michael Bachman, last night about the risk, right? He talked about quantum encryption, which sounds kind of terrifying, right? But he had some very interesting thoughts on just the level of liability that lies ahead. We talked about Claude Code, you know, Claude generally, they're having a massive impact on enterprise. What are your thoughts around some of the risks that maybe aren't fully understood? Like, what are you thinking about and what sort of problems are you building against?
No, I think the first problem is using Mythos to identify some of the vulnerabilities that we have in the ecosystem, because when we integrate the different solutions, it gives us the opportunity to identify it, but more than identify it, identify leading indicators to this vulnerability. Because I'm a big believer that anomalies rarely happen instantaneously. There is a degradation pattern. Can we use Mythos to detect the leading indicators so that we can prevent things from happening in the future, right? That's one of the aspects I'm excited, of course. And like everybody, we are also looking to actually play with it, get our hands dirty with it, essentially.
Wow, okay. Well, gents, I know we're coming up on time. Maybe just to close, talk to us a little bit about what's ahead for both of you, both from a partnership perspective between Jade and Boomi, but also what's like on your product roadmaps and even personal roadmaps over the next year.
Yeah, so from our perspective, from Jade Global as a platinum partner with Boomi, we are looking to help with enterprises we are starting with the AI initiative, AI Days with our customers. We are looking into their business processes, whether it's a finance, supply chain, HR, wherever it's possible. We can build the AI solutions to improve their productivity, reduce the TCO, overall TCOs. So economy, as Steve mentioned on the stage, economy is the best ROI, right?
For sure.
So that's where we are leaning towards, and Boomi with the new features and the new product launching and the new alliances. I think it's a great time. This is the best time to leverage Boomi and with any enterprises who are looking for outcomes from the real AI.
I love that, the real AI. And what about you, Thomas?
I'm really excited about how do we make the vision that Steve put, Boomi being the AI data activation company, with the capabilities that we are releasing, like Boomi Orchestrate, Boomi Connect, agents and runtime, in a secure, governed manner, so that customers can realize the business value, outcomes, and eventually the ROI with these capabilities that Boomi can help deliver for them.
Love that. Well, it's all about the ROI, that's for sure. Gents, thanks so much for joining us on theCUBE.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm Gemma Allen here at Boomi World Chicago 2026, joined by my co-host John Furrier. We are having some of the leading conversations around all things Boomi and the future of connected enterprise. Stay tuned.